Hello everybody and welcome to my channel. So as I'm going to be taking a look at some of the kits I've built and painted on this channel, I thought the best place to start would be with one of my favourites, and that is this, which is the Railgrade Gundam Mark II. Now the Gundam Mark II is probably my favourite Gundam design from the entire series, and it is of course from Zeta Gundam, piloted by Camille for most of the show and then a machine. And I just really like the bulky nature of the design. I think it's a great improvement on the original RX-78-2 with the darker colour scheme, while bulking up areas such as the shoulder and the chest. I really like the shield as well, dropping the red design and going for more of a matching colour scheme for the main torso of the mobile suit. And this is the railgrade kit, so it's in 1/44 scale. And with most railgrades, it's incredibly detailed, as you can see, as we'll spin the little guy around. And this is one that I've painted myself, mostly through the airbrush, and then I've also applied the decals and the transfers to get all those lovely Vicar style markings on there, such as on the shoulder here, on the backpack, all the warning markings and such. You can see on the back there it does have the ability to stow the bazooka on the model itself, which is really nice because then you don't have to worry about leaving the accessories or the other weapons in another box or losing them, which I am quite prone to do. So I do appreciate the fact that it can stow the weapon on there, and I do really like it with the bazooka displayed. So I'm starting this video out with it equipped with what is probably the most standard equipment for it, and that's the beam rifle and the shield. You'll notice that it doesn't have the head Vulcans because I'm an idiot and lost those, but they would wrap around the head to provide the Vulcans, as it doesn't have them built into the head like the original RX-78-2 would have. So the beam rifle's pretty cool. It does have a little scope there. That's just a sticker. I was too lazy to paint that, as you will see will be a common theme throughout all my videos. If there are sticker details, such as for the eye lenses, as you can see here, I will typically just use the stickers because, as I said, I'm lazy, and I do quite like the way they catch the light as well, whereas on some of the ones that I've painted the lenses, they are quite difficult to see sometimes in certain poses, or when it's not perfect lighting conditions. So the beam rifle, as you can see, that also has some of the, if we get that to focus, it also has some of the markings on it from the transfers. They were aftermarket. I can't remember which particular company they are, but they were really good. And there you go, it's got like the red marking one on the top. It does have this extra handle, and this ammo pack here does come off, and I believe you do get a spare. That's kicking around somewhere. I'll probably never see that again. Yeah, so I really like the details on this with it being a rail grade. I have lost those clear pieces here, as I did intend to paint those and kept them separate. They are in a box somewhere. I will find them one day and get it sorted, but today is not that day. And you can see the marking on the shoulder designating the unit. More of the details. I particularly like the legs on the railgrade version of this kit. So I think these are always really nice on the railgrades. And look, that's quite a nice leg design, I think, with a lot of separate armour plates. Different colours as well. There's a couple of shades of grey and white on this kit. Just take the bazooka off. It is a railgrade kit, so it does have some flaws, particularly in sort of the stability area of the kit. For instance, that's not ideal, and also, I'm not sure if it's going to do it now. I was noticing earlier that moving the head around, it would default back to looking to the right, which was a bit weird. Maybe because it was displayed that way for so long. Not particularly sure if that's the case. But yeah, so I prefer displaying this guy without the shield, because that, as you can see, is also quite floppy and loose, and it doesn't pose very well because of that. So that's, some of that early railgrade jank that we're all familiar with. Although, to be fair, as an early-ish railgrade, this is probably one of the most stable, and I believe that's probably just because it's quite a simple design. It doesn't have the really heavy wings or whatever on the back that like the Freedom would. It's not massive like the Sinanju, which uses the same frame, but it's like nearly twice the size, which is just ridiculous. But yeah, as I said, I'll get the bazooka put on. That's not good. There we go. They do like to show you up, these kits, don't they, when you're trying to display them? You know, they're always real solid until you try to get some attention on them. So we'll get the bazooka on and we'll have a look at how it poses from there. So here we have the Mark II equipped with the Gundam bazooka. This is my favourite way to display it. I just really like the look of the Gundams, you know, toting these really big, high explosive weapons. I just think it looks cool. Yeah, and it poses really nicely. It's fairly stable. I mean, it's not perfect. You saw the leg come off earlier. Sometimes that can happen. Certain joints can be a bit looser than others, but at least with those areas where they're on ball joints and pegs and such, you can tighten those up. The good thing is it doesn't have any of those loose parts, which are panels that just constantly fall off. Like if you've built something like the Zeta railgrade or the Wing Zero EW, I have a lot of things fall off that. The X here is the worst I've had for that. So I'm quite glad this Gundam Mark II is fairly stable for a rail grade. So yeah, this is the first model I thought I'd show that I've built and painted. It was really fun to do. It was a couple of years ago now. I do have the perfect grade of the Mark II as well, which we'll see at some point. Looking to get the master grade as well because I've heard really good things about that, and it comes with like a little like a hanger display base, which looks like a really fun thing. Be a good way to display it. But yeah, that's it for this video. So do all that YouTube stuff if you want. I'm not bothered. Just doing this for fun. So yeah, I hope you enjoyed looking at this, and I'll be back soon, I guess. Ta-ta.